Hi. Hi.
So what we've done is Quarterback Club and Extreme Cheer and all the people in the community, they went ahead and they donated some cash and they donated gift cards. We went in and we put together a little basket back there with some temple goodies, t-shirts. We got a foam claw stuff in there, some toys for the kids, stuff that'll get y'all going for the next football game that y'all didn't make. So that's what we did, and then they also have some goodies there from Extreme. Sam's Club donated for you guys a complete Christmas meal. So that's in the. I think they put that in the kitchen. We have a turkey for you. We have a ham, all the stuff to go with it. It's all cooked except for the turkey, but everything else is cooked. So nobody needs to be getting up and doing anything. Just throw it in the oven, and it's good to go.
Awesome. Wow.
What else do we have? Who else? Did we miss anybody? I think we got.
I got some
and
blessings here also. I'm Oliver Stone with Town Square Media, the radio station.
Yes, sir.
You had numerous nominations for the Christmas on Us, so I'm here to award you today. We have a free oil change and car wash from Trenton, and also a $200 gift card to Walmart.
Oh, wow. Man,
So definitely blessings with y'all and wish y'all the best.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
No problem.
Just abundantly. I can't believe how much support that Temple has come with, because I know there's a lot of situations that were a lot worse than mine, but I can't thank y'all enough.
Well, you are more than welcome. We do it because you're a big Wildcat fan. That's
my school.
That's one of the reasons why. So we just felt that it was something that we needed to come alongside you and pick you up and support you the way you supported our team.
That's a gift, man. That's a blessing. I sincerely appreciate every one of y'all. Yeah, made my kids and my Christmas when we didn't think we were really going to have one. We weren't too worried about Christmas, I guess. We just wanted to make sure we were alive. But for y'all to bring this forthcoming, it's just, man, God is good. I thank each and every one of y'all for being here. This is amazing. Got all kind of cards and stuff to open, y'all.
Yeah, y'all get all sorts of fun stuff.
Yeah, paper cuts opening all these little cards.
Can you kind of tell us how everybody's doing at this point?
Well, you know, I'm a little older than my kiddos. I don't know if I'm recovering as fast as they are. My son will be out here shortly. He probably got a lot of the damage. My youngest, he had intestinal surgery. He seems to have bounced back. He's eating. He's able to sleep. He doesn't have any type of diet restriction.
What's the brace for?
So his dad can tell you more about what happened to his back. He has to wear that except when he sleeps.
Okay.
So
you suffered a back injury?
Yeah, it's a fractured L5. Okay. They had internal bleeding in his spine.
He had a banged up face. That's pretty much healed. I do remember in that moment, I guess motherly instinct kicks in. And I knew in that fraction of a second we were going to crash. He was in the front seat. Probably wasn't the best decision, but I always made sure that the airbag was off. And when I knew we were going to hit, I grabbed his shirt. He's so small, I figured, well, he's going to hit the dash. There's no doubt about it. Hopefully he doesn't get ejected. But grabbed him, and he did hit, you know, a little, but not as bad as I think he would have. This is my son, older son, Quashawn.
What up, my man? How are you doing? Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you, sir.
So my arm, my elbow got locked, popped out of place. They had to fix that in the ambulance, and I said, okay, RJ, I owe you this one. But I think that helped. I think his face would have been a lot worse, but he had a little laceration here and here, but those seem to be pretty much disappearing. My oldest son, he had neck surgery from the front of his neck. He had a fractured vertebrae in his neck. Then the seatbelt kind of is what got a lot of us. We have the burns.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have some, pretty much a U right here. He does too. They're better. Mine kind of scabbed up. His are still a little raw because he has to wear that neck brace 24/7, even when he sleeps. But other than that, I mean, we've been putting acid tracing on it every day, and I think it's healing.
Oh, and I got a hole in my lung.
We're fairly. You had to have a chest tube put in. We haven't seen what that incision looks like yet. But there's some pretty healthy kids, so I think recovery, I think we're doing pretty good. They both had post-ops, was that yesterday? Ralph, that they went?
Yeah.
Got the all clear that everything was going successful. They warned us if he started like throwing up weird colors or whatever, then he may be having relapse problems with the surgery. He got the all clear, but I think that incision where they put the chest tube in because he was bleeding in his lungs, I think that has to be, I think that'll be checked on the 29th or the next couple of days. But overall, I think we're recovering pretty good. And I think just knowing that we have support, you know, makes those bruises and those bumps not look so bad.
Right.
I mean, we were driving Highway 53. I'm not real familiar with that road, but I just followed my GPS for me to get to Prairie View. I knew that's where the Wildcats were playing. I think we maybe were 10 minutes out of Temple, and you know, listening to music and just driving, talking about the game, hoping, you know, knowing Wildcats are going to win. All of a sudden, I look up, see some really, really bright lights. I wasn't in a city area. It was pretty rural, and they're coming right at me. So Highway 53 is a 2-lane road, so it's my way and then their way. It literally looked like he just came to me. And before I knew it, a bunch of things ran into my mind. My first instinct was, your son's in the front seat. I don't really remember. I know we hit head on because obviously I saw him coming straight at me. Then I landed in a somewhat of a ditch in front of a church. I don't know if I passed out. The only thing I could think of was to find my kids. Where's my kids? He started crying, and I think went into shock and was trying to figure out what was happening. My oldest son was out of the car. I knew he didn't get ejected, but he had, I guess through shock and hyperventilating, he had kicked open the door and landed on the ground. It was, I guess, trying to recuperate himself and catch his breath. I knew I couldn't move my feet because I was obviously going to try to get out of the car and make sure my sons were okay. Couldn't do that. It was quiet. It was silent. I couldn't hear anything. Kids couldn't hear anything. I heard him crying, and that's it. And then I think people started coming to the scene. Had a young lady from Baylor Scott and White. She was a nurse. I don't know her name. If I knew her name, I would commend her. But she said she was a nurse. She asked me my name. She asked him his name. She asked my son, make sure we knew where we were and who we were. She said 911 had been called. I'm still in shock because I'm like, I really don't know what happened. The only thing I can remember is this guy looked like he was aiming towards me. You know, it didn't look like he just kind of lost control. It looked like he was just coming at me. Kids got taken. I looked back and they're both gone. So they had already went in the ambulance. Obviously didn't get to go together, didn't get to go with me. So that put another, you know, ounce of fear into me because I couldn't be with my kids. I didn't know if they were scared. I didn't know if they were crying out for me. I didn't know what was happening. I just knew they were gone. Took forever for me to get out of the car because the dashboard had somewhat come down and out. Didn't collapse on my legs, but my feet were in a pretty bad spot to where it wasn't like I could just turn and step out of the car. They finally got me out. How I don't remember really. It took a couple of people to get me out and get me into the ambulance, and then from what I knew, it took about 2 seconds, so we were at Scott and White. I went in there, and once I got into the ambulance, he said, "You can blame your son. You're gonna have to pop your elbow back into place." So my elbow was just kind of dangling, and I was like, "What? Is it broken?" He was like, "No, but we're gonna have to pop it back into place." So he pops it back into place, and of course that didn't feel good. Once I got in there, they pulled to put some type of splint on this shattered foot. The foot's completely shattered. It's like in 42 pieces. That was excruciating. I had a friend that I had called immediately once I knew I had wrecked, and she came with me, of course, stayed with me the whole time while I was in the ER, and so they actually got me in a room. And then once the dust started settling, I said, okay, I was hit by a drunk driver, and I don't know how my kids are doing. obviously he was taking the children's. My son was in the other tower. He wasn't with me, so it's not like I could just call him. Then it really started hitting me that, you know, aches started hurting and lacerations started stinging, and whoa, I was in a wreck. And it's Saturday morning, probably about 4 o'clock in the morning by now, when I was actually in the room, and IVs are being poked and prodded, and then that's just when reality hit that car's gone. I just got my car, I hadn't even had it that long. But I was glad everybody was alive. I just wasn't sure what condition my kids were in. Then I started getting the next morning, you know, the calls on my son. I think was the first one that my youngest had to go into surgery first. I was a little shook up because I'm not a doctor. I don't really know what internal injuries he had or how severe they were. I just knew he had them. So that was scary for me. That made them have to get me on anxiety medicine because my heart rate was going up. Then I got the report on my oldest son. Doctor came into my room and said, I just need to let you know that I need to do surgery on him now. And of course, my mother thinks the worst. And I was like, why? And they said, well, there's a vertebrae in his neck. If it doesn't heal, it could paralyze him. And heard the word paralyze, and anxiety shoots back up again. Had some friends in there, you know, just there for physical support. I said, Joe, go ahead and do whatever you have to do, man. Don't worry about me because I think I'm okay, but you know, make sure that my sons are okay. And then after that, it was surgeries and me getting. You know, I said, please keep me updated every day. My son's dad stayed with him every day and every night, and I can't thank him enough for that. Because it's hard when you can't be with your kids and you know they're hurt, and you know you're hurt, and you're not sure if they're even going to be okay, or if they're not going to be okay. So that was a godsend to have somebody there with him 24/7. I could never thank him enough, because I know I couldn't be there, and if I was a kid, I could only imagine how scared he was. I know it wasn't our fault that we had the wreck, but we were just trying to go see Temple Wildcats play, you know. But we have our lives. We can get another car. We obviously have the support of my city, and I'm looking for the silver lining out of all of it.
And how did you feel when you saw the surprise?
To be honest with you, I got blood that has treated me like strangers, and I've had strangers that have treated me like blood through all this. So that's truly an amazing feeling. I'll be honest with you. This is, even though it's a tragedy, it's probably made me feel supported more than, you know, any struggle I've really ever been through.
And what do you want to tell the group here that has made this possible?
Whether all you did was seal an envelope, or put on your mascot suit, or, you know, just know that it means a lot from the bottom of my heart, because I have family that is blood that's not even here to support me, but you guys are. So just know that I can never thank you enough. Truly, from the bottom of my heart. It wasn't expected. It's not owed to me. I don't even know, you know, my life. I could be gone, but just to know that somebody cares and that they'll step out and they'll get things organized is, you know, Temple's amazing. And I can never say that I'm more proud to be a Wildcat. You know, that's my alma mater, and I can never say that I'm more proud to be from the city of Temple. And you guys have totally turned this from a dark situation and given it some hope and some meaning, when there were many nights in the hospital where I sat there and I said, what'd I do wrong? Why is this happening to me? But now I know why it's happening to me, and most of the time battles are only given to the strongest that can handle it, and you just have to look for that silver lining and look for the lesson, and maybe look for the present, the gift that's there after it. And I think I have found it. People showing up at my door, it's just amazing.
Well, I'm from Extreme Cheer in Temple. My name is Jasmine, and we were the host site for where all the donations were that we got a lot of this from. And I just want to say, you know, whenever y'all are healthy and stuff, y'all are more than welcome to come to a free open gym. We have it on Fridays. You know, now that there's football season's out of the way, we can do it on Fridays, and you can come whenever y'all are healthy, okay? Courtesy of Extreme, all right? Y'all are awesome, and we just want to thank y'all for being fans of the community, so we just want to give back to y'all.
certainly appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Freeman?
Thank you so much.
Hex did.
I appreciate it.
Oh, who was living on that?
I'm so glad y'all are safe. I'm so glad that everything's getting better.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Y'all have a Merry Christmas also.
Merry Christmas. Y'all deserve it.
Thank you, babe. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate y'all so much.
I hope y'all enjoy
Have a Merry
I'm all right,
Christmas.
my neck, little.
everything up. Go
All
ahead.
that stuff. See, I got my push out position right there.
I appreciate you for
That's
coming,
where I
man.
go.
Have a Merry Christmas.
Surgery. Oh, thank y'all so much. And I got
Thank you. No,
hole in my lung right here.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
This guy did a lot.
Yes, he did.
Mom was right here.
Yes, he did.
Merry Christmas, guys.